Hello, and welcome to my session, Building Together, Turning Projects into a Truly Collaborative Effort. My name is Anthony Dunn, and I'm a member of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. In this session, we're going to look at a variety of tools to help take large-scale projects that would often be tough for one person to handle on their own and break them down into manageable tasks that can be shared with collaborators such as fellow colleagues, community members, and our students. I just want to point out that there is a slide deck link located at the bottom of this slide that you are welcome to explore and share with your fellow colleagues. Like I said before, my name is Anthony Dunn, and I'm a technology integration coach for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Not only do I work in Catholic education, but I'm a product of Catholic education as well. I attended St. Alice School in Upper Darby, Monsignor Bonner and Archbishop Prendergast High School in Drexel Hill, and DeSales University in the Lehigh Valley region of Pennsylvania. Before starting work at the Archdiocese of Philadelphia this past September, I spent 10 years in one of its Catholic elementary schools, St. Anastasia, in Newtown Square. During those 10 years, the first 5 were spent in middle school teaching English, religion, and social studies, before I transitioned for the last 5 years of teaching technology from grades kindergarten through 8th. I put on my contact information if you have any questions about today's session, or if you have ideas or suggestions to help make it better, feel free to reach out. My email is adunn@archphila-oce.org, or find me on Twitter at Mr. ABC Dunn. So before we begin today's session, I want you to think about these 3 questions. The first question is, what kinds of memories do our students take from us in schools? What are those core memories of things that we do with them that they'll remember forever? Maybe it's a big project, or maybe it's just a small interaction. When I think back of my time at St. Alice Elementary School, I can think of when Miss Humke in 2nd grade broke out that old school video camera that was probably about the size of her head, and she let us film like we were the host of our own Reading Rainbow series. I think about in 5th grade when Mrs. Nestor let us plan birthday parties, complete with math budgets where we had to learn about recipes and ads and building a whole budget, as well as creating menus and decorations. And then I think of sometimes that there are memories that maybe aren't academic. One of my favorite teachers, Mrs. Marinelli in 7th grade, who I learned so much about math from. But my favorite memory is one day in our auditorium while we were waiting for the other classes, she was at the microphone and broke out into her version of "Hey, you're adorable." When I see kids that I grew up with, those are the memories that we still talk about, especially Mrs. Marinelli, because as she got into the song and got to the rest of the alphabet, the other classes started to walk in behind her, and she sang for pretty much half of the school without even realizing it. So again, we have to think about that. What kinds of memories do our students take from us in schools? The second question is, how has the pandemic affected us in trying new things in our schools? When I think about my time teaching at St. Anastasia the last couple of years, I think of all the new things that we have brought out. Some of our ideas were in the planning stages before the pandemic, and they got accelerated quickly and had to be adopted. Think about your schools. Did you try anything new during the pandemic? Even now, are we starting to go back to those old ways? We have to look at what worked and what didn't, and how we're going to grow from it. And lastly, as we're going from growing out of the pandemic, we look at this third question. What often stops us from trying new things in schools? You know, lots of people have ideas. We share them in faculty meetings, we share them at the lunchroom, we share them in meetings with our administration teams. But what stops them? And how do we break down those barriers? So when I think of this, I think of the first thing, time, right? There's just no time. We have our own schedules of curriculum during the school day. We have places to be after school or on the weekends, which is very important. There's just no time to try new things. Let's just do it the way we did it because, that will save us some time. Sometimes it's about control. We have ideas. We want them to be what we want them to be. So, and I fall victim to this all the time, when people start to change, ideas, can we let it go? Money, sometimes the ideas cost some money and we had to fundraise. Space, again, sometimes we're limited in their space. Sometimes it's outdoor space at schools. Sometimes it's indoor space. Sometimes it's classrooms that have to be, shared by a variety of subjects. Sometimes we have, specials that travel on carts. But last one, and probably our biggest one, is everyone is busy. We're always on the go. And this kind of blends into things like time and control. But, everyone is busy. There's that one person that can just simply say, hey, I'll take on this project and spend 4 or 5 nights or time over 3 or 4 weeks to do it. So we have to look at projects that we can break down into manageable tasks where if everyone pitches in a little bit, we're going to do some really great things. So some of the tools that we're going to work on today are collaborative tools. Many of them you probably use in your classrooms already. First, we obviously have the Google Workspace. Things like Gmail and Calendar, Drive, Meet. We're going to look at Flippity, which is, as we can see from the old logo, it takes Google Sheets and helps us to turn and collaborate in new ways on certain projects instructionally in the classroom. And then we have some other tools that we use. And we may not use them just exactly as you've used them in the past. We have Flipgrid. We have WeVideo. And we have the popular formative assessment tool, Quizzes. So the first thing is we're going to look at quizzes, and we're going to look at it as an assessment tool. When we look at quizzes, we're going to use a Google form to help us create our formative and review assessments. Then we're going to show you how to take that spreadsheet and upload it into Quizzes to quickly make your sheet. Therefore, we make the sheet and then we can upload it quickly into Quizzes, and it's already made. We're not spending hours at night to do this. Now, before I show you how to do this, I want to show you some different ways that you can use this in your classrooms. So obviously we have that formative assessment that we always use, as well as assessment review. But think about it in this manner. Think about it as a homework review or a flipped classroom, where you're having students generate the questions for you. I remember as a kid the teacher before the test, she would say, here, everyone take out a piece of loose leaf paper and write down 5 questions. And then maybe she would collect them and then kind of do some kind of fun trivia game. In this case, though, when the students create the questions in the Google form, they can simply type them into the Google form, you download them at the sheet, you upload it, and there's a constant review game. You can do this as a get to know you activity in your classroom. So I've seen teachers use this, where every student creates 2 or 3 questions about themselves. And schools do all sorts of trivia. At St. Anastasia, during the pandemic, we did a teacher trivia for Catholic Schools Week, where our families got to play it at night from their house. You could do a sports trivia game for homecoming week to celebrate, your athletics. Any kind of general trivia for at home, or even holiday trivia. So let's start. I have to close this out 1 sec. And let me bring up my quizzes. All right, so when you open up quizzes, it's just simply quizzes.com and sign in to your account. Again, a free account works just as well for this. You're gonna open up, create, and then do new quiz. I'm gonna say test and CEA. But here's the feature we're looking for, import from spreadsheet. So when I click on this import from spreadsheet, I can download the Excel template that tells us all the questions that we need. Now, I already did that and I made it a Google form. So these are all the options that we have to create them. So I just took all of these, text of question, question type, all the way through option for photos, links, and I turned them into this quizzes form. Now this is the form from the slide deck that you will get. It'll make a copy of it for you. So I have the quizzes form, the students write their names, the text of the question. It's a drop down for question type, and then they can fill in their answer choices. So what it looks like on the student's end is, let's say, Joe Holt. Text of question. What is the capital of New Jersey? I'm going to make it multiple choice. And then I'm going to type in, let's say, Ocean City, Sea Isle. In the northern part, there is a Jersey City. And then we'll put in the right answer for Trenton. It's the 4th option, so I'm going to just type the number 4. And now I put in time in seconds. You can do more than 30, but I never let the kids do more than 30. So I'm going to say this one will be 20. And I'm going to submit it. So now, when I go back, I have my responses. I added a couple responses before. I open up my sheet. So I'm going to click that button, but I already have one open. And I'm going to highlight everything from column C through column L. I don't want to highlight the timestamps or the names of the students. You often collect the names of the students or the people that I'm working with, whether they're like fellow teachers or community members. So I know who created what. So there's some accountability. But For this one, we're going to go Control-C. I go to my sample spreadsheet, Control-V. Oh, it has to be from the list, so I'm going to do 20. And then all I have to do is download. When I go back to my quiz website, I'm going to hit import from spreadsheet. I see my questions. I click import. And right off the top, there are all of my questions. Again, simply that was 4 quick questions. But again, if you have students, maybe 20 kids in a class, they each create 3 questions. There are 60 questions. And then if they make mistakes, say if I don't want to put in, smaller cities, I'm going to put in edit a question and change, Jersey City to Camden. Save. And we're good to go. The last thing I do once I have all my questions done, I just save it to my cloud. Say NCEA. For the image. You have to put it in a grade. So for in this case, I'm going to put kindergarten, but I'll delete it later. And save. And then that's how simple it is. So I hope you try this. On this slide, I have the sample spreadsheet from quizzes. That is the Excel spreadsheet that I just showed you. I also have the sample Google form. When you click this link, it will open up and allow you to make a copy of my form that you can share with your classes. Why I do this is it helps to save time, especially with these bigger trivia questions, like teacher trivia. In my school, we had 40 teachers that would participate in this. And when we first started doing these kinds of things, I would give everybody, 5 index cards and then have to go back in and type them myself for the games that we played. This allows me to take 3 or 4 nights of work and turn it into about 1 night of work. That would only take maybe 2 hours to complete. And it was a really big hit in our school. So I welcome you to try this. Please, review this slideshow, go back. And again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Our next one we're going to look at is video creation. The students present and record themselves using Flipgrid. And many of you may already use this, but I love the download feature that we can use that can allow us to collaborate but I love the fact that we can change the settings so students cannot see each other's work. And when all the students are finished, we just download each video and then we can bulk upload them into an editing program like WeVideo. And again, student read alouds, creating those videos that our parents will love to see. Like I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Reading Rainbow. I don't even know maybe if our students would know what that is. But again, it's a great thing to show them to help them practice their speaking skills. Maybe a thank you video for community members. Open house videos thanking moms and dads. I love using the program My Advent, which is a way to create your own Advent calendar for your school or classroom, where you upload either a video or a picture or a special reflection each day. And the best part is you can use it at any time of the year. You do not have to use it just during the month of December. And also this expands our virtual events. Sometimes we may not have the time in the year or the ability to perform a whole school event like a talent show or a band and vocal performance. At our school, I'm going to show you in our example, we had a massed singing competition for the teachers and the students, or even school tour videos where you have different grades work on different parts. And again, the videos all get uploaded into one place. So let's take a look on how this works. All right, so now I've opened up Flipgrid on my computer. It's just simply info.flipgrid.com. They're free accounts. So I'm going to log in. Now I've already built my groups and topics. So these are some of the ones though that I've used with Flipgrid to collect videos. So we have the Masked Singer, we have the Masked Singer Student Edition, which was the students version. The Advent calendar, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We even changed things up. So like student council speeches were a big change to schedules. So what we decided to do was have the kids record their speeches at home. They could do that in their own environments. They could practice, they could do it multiple times. And then they had to submit their speeches. Once they were all completed and the deadline passed, I just simply downloaded them and turned them into a video to share with the teachers. And then they could show it at the appropriate time during their class schedule. So it wasn't, everybody had to rearrange for one event. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you an example. So this is our Masked Singer from the pandemic. Now the teachers could all view each other's so get ideas. And they created our profile cover with a picture of your face and your mask. We use that to do the reveals. So let me just show you what one of our video looks like. I'm going to show you mine. The mighty king, so enemies beware. Well, I've never seen a king of beasts with quite so little hair. I'm gonna be the main event like no king was before. I'm brushing up, I'm looking down, I'm working on my roar. That's rather fun. So I'm not gonna punish you too much with my singing, but again, if I can do this, anybody can do this, because I'm sure you're much more talented than I am. But again, you'll see before they record it, we sent out a video to the teachers to make their sticker very large to cover their face. This got more teachers involved with this kind of competition once they realized there was a little anonymity to this. And then we just had the karaoke playing in the background, and the teachers were very good sports in this, I will say that. I was surprised how many we had participate, but we had teachers from preschool through 8th grade, even our principal participated. And once you have the videos, it's simply a matter of you come over here to your 3 dots and you click download video. And then when I did the review, I did the cover image as well. But for this take, I'm going to hit download video. I did that for each one. And then when I was ready to make the video, I went into WeVideo, create, and then it's simply import. So the video is actually downloading again. And then I would just start dragging and dropping. You can do mass uploads. So again, they take longer, obviously, but it saves time in the long run. And then you just cut and, add transitions between them and save it. So again, very simple, but again, something that the kids talked about for weeks. And it's a very good memory for them to have. The other one that I want to show you is the personal advent calendar. This is myadvent.net, and it's free. There is a business option, but the free version works perfectly fine for schools. The one thing that I will say, though, that you have to be careful for is with the free version, they send you a link once you create your calendar, and you need to save that link in order to make changes. So just be aware of that. Do not delete that link or lose it, because then you have to start over again. Don't ask me how I know that, but I'm going to show you the example. And what happens is it'll give you the number of days. You could do 24 for like Advent. We did 12, the 12 days of Christmas leading up to Christmas, because we only had 12 videos. But each day, the video will unlock, and it could be a picture. It could be another picture. Some of them are reflections. Some of them are videos. So this one is a YouTube video that you can upload. It's a lot of fun. Each morning, the teachers made it as part of their morning meeting. Now, when you count days, I just want to make you aware that you have to include Saturday and Sunday. You just can't make it school days, which is not a problem. We just made it that, Monday, the teacher would show Saturday and Sunday's video as well. And we put the link up on the school website for parents. If the kids really wanted to watch it over the weekend, they could. So again, it's called My Advent, but you can use this at any time. You can change the background photo. It's a lot of fun, so I suggest that. And you're good to go. And we have one more tool to share with you today. And that is flippity.net's tools for instruction. So flippity.net, if you've never used it before, exclusively uses Google Sheets to create a wide variety of instruction tools. Once a file has been copied into your drive, you can share it collaboratively to work with others, community members. And some of the tools that we see that Flippity has created for us, and again, these are all free. There's manipulative quiz shows, randomizer, badge tracker, self-assessment, crosswords, word clouds, name pickers, board games, timelines, Wordmaster, which is kind of like the hit Wordle, virtual breakouts, and board games. We love these tools in the Archdiocese because they're so easy to make, and they're so easy to share. Now, with some of these, they're simple, so you may not have to, collaboratively work with others. But the students love once you show them how to do it, they'll work, creating their own things. And then teachers can share that, just to cut down on work, especially things like special classes where we have the same rosters. Why 3 or 4 of us would make these kinds of things was kind of silly. So I'm going to show you them now. And let me just open the website. Very simple, flippity.net. Okay. And you see all the different things. So I'm going to show you the randomizer one, because I think this is a great one for ELA. And what happens is this is the demo. The kids have a who, what, where, when. And again, they could have spin them one at a time. Maybe they do some creative writing. You know, you can do this on the board, they can do it at their own seat. But what it looks like to you, you click on the instructions. And what you can do is you make a copy of the template. So again, here's where you're going to click on share and maybe have some teachers share or the students. You can put this in your, Google Classroom to write down some who examples, what examples, where examples. And then after you change them, now for the sake of time, I'm not going to change them right now, but I can just simply go, if I want, instead of Luke, I want, Darth Vader. I could put in, Mr. Dunn. The birth of Jesus. And what happens is I hit file and I go to, they just changed this, so it's share and then publish to the web. And I publish it. Okay, once I publish it, I go down to the get the link here. And it opens up. And now you can see some of my changes, Mr. Dunn, the birth of Jesus. If I make a mistake or I want to add more, okay, I'm going to change an accountant to a lawyer. Okay, all I have to do is go back, refresh it. Okay, so there may be some changes. It does say 5 minutes, so I'm not going to go through, but they usually are pretty fast with the changes. So again, every program has a set of directions. The one thing that you have to be very careful about, and the students have to be very careful about, is anything in the frozen columns, the frozen rows in this case, if you take them and delete them, it can delete the program that's hidden behind it. So when they publish it, you get a kind of like a sad face. And it's not a big deal because you can just create a new copy and copy everything over. But again, if they go like this, like column 5, even like type column 5, I'm sorry, it won't work. Again, though, who, what, when, where, maybe a why. You can, come up with all different things. Let's just go back one more. The flashcards. A lot of my students loved Quizlet, where they loved this Jeopardy quiz show kind of game. Again, you show them once, they can create them on their own. Again, they collaborate. They, one person creates the copy and shares it with another person. One that I love the teachers is this flippity manipulatives. Again, for centers, this one is based off The Office. But again, can you create them for different themes? And again, teachers, work together where they create them and then share them with each other. So again, these are the tools that I think can help you work collaboratively, work, definitely, smarter, not always harder is the best, as they say. So I want to thank you for checking out today's session. If you have any questions about the session, please do not hesitate to contact me. I know I went, pretty fast, but again, please feel free to review it. The slide deck link is at the bottom of this slide again, or you can go back to the beginning. But, again, I thank you. I appreciate, everything that you guys are doing in your schools. So, again, thank you and best wishes. Let me see.